All right, and if we're to talk about the team on the other side, the winners of Jonkoping, they finally done it. You know, they went up with an international trophy at a major event. It only took like 7 million years.
Yeah, they've broken through that ceiling. They've broken through whatever barrier was stopping them winning so many international events when they were favourites. They went into Jonkoping not as favourites, and they went and won it. And, you know, there's going to be one guy that we'll talk about as the addition. That's the game changer for this team that already made one of the best teams in the world. He gave them new dynamics. He gave them new ways of thinking, new ideas. That is, of course, LikEfac. Since his introduction, BDS have looked nothing short of superb.
Yeah, and I think yesterday, despite not always winning opening engagements, for example, they showed that they can still battle back later on into the rounds. And something that was also mentioned in the interview by LMs is that they have this adaptability to play against these more aggressive teams. That's something I really liked seeing from them as well. And another fact that they did really well yesterday is if you read into an operator ban stage, they really brought the right anti-breach operators, for example, on Skyscraper, which really helped them win out rounds.
All right, well, if we were to compare two players, well, we can, because we have two players that are analyst selected and are head-to-head. So let's bring it up. Thank you very much, production. Who is it? Who are those two players? My question, it's Yuzus and LikEfac. Jack?
Well, I think these two players are, well, in my opinion, these two players are not playing the first entry for their team. But they are absolutely the star players that when you need a round to be won, they go and win it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. You're looking at the operators that are there. They're playing SMG 11s on defense. They're playing vertical. They're lurking. But still, look at the KD, look at the entries, the cost, the kills per round. They can sort of do everything. And I think that is such an enormous credit right now in a meta where you can play certain maps very aggressive, but you have to play other maps slow. Again, it's a credit to being that type of player that can do a bit of everything.
Yeah, in my opinion, Yuzus is part of a very strong front line that we have on the side of M&M, where he could really step up, really get those clutches in the moments that it matters the most, get that ground, and that's something that we do see LikEfac do a lot. You get that ground, you're lurking from underneath, you're working with nades vertically, but for LikEfac on his side as well, he's part of the, well, second IGL almost, like we heard in the Major, where he just helped LMs to bring in those fresh and new ideas.
Jack, just one thing to highlight is that when I said LikEfac, you didn't respond with...
No, he's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. I've told him that. I've told him that enough that when you speak to LikEfac, he is so humble, by the way.
He is.
Like, as a player, as a person around, he is so humble. So we're going to keep him there. We're going to not call him the GOAT, even though he is for now.
Just not jinx him or what?
We're just not going to give him an ego. That's what it is. Because we want him to now go on and win an SI for Europe, right? So
That's true.
We'll leave him where he is.
We're looking into the long term. Very well done. Very well done. All right. Our maps for this series. Again, it's best of 3, just like we had, yesterday and our game before. And who goes first? That's BDS. And they take Clubhouse first. Okay. BDS are allowed to play Clubhouse. That's completely fine. They start off on defense. Wow, that's also very, very good. Theme Park is attack start. That's M&M's second pick. And finally, Skyscraper. M&M will ban out Cafe before it and start on defense. Sky, and what's up here?
I mean, looking at M&M's map pool, right? I think BDS yesterday had to win the game because they have a bigger map pool than Heroic did, for example. I think it's kind of the same situation with M&M, to be honest, because their insta-bans are bank and border. So you see those two bans are banned out first by M&M. But then, of course, you're going to end up on a map like Clubhouse, because why would BDS not pick a map like Clubhouse when it's still open in the books? They have really good stats on it. For M&M, though, it is probably maybe one of their worst attacking and defending win rates, and they've already suffered 2 losses on it.
It's a tough one to look at from M&M because we say it every time. Clubhouse against BDS. Why are you playing it? Yeah. It's been so long since they lost it, and obviously one disappointing moment for them. But then, other than that, they've been outstanding on that map. They're constantly outstanding on that map. So why would you take it? But with SI coming up, do you want to reveal to teams that you actually do play bank and border?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Look, we won't dive into that too much. We won't dive into it too much, but I think M&M will have been hoping to have played Cafe instead because they won it yesterday, but BDS have just gone for tried and trusted.
Yeah. BDS are always going to pick Club when it's available, right? Yeah. The theme park, I think, is very good for M&M. M&M are known for a long time as a good theme park team, you know, for the past probably, year and a half. They're a team that always played theme park, even when they were a CL. You know, back into the UKIN days, they always played it. However, then the decider of Skyscraper, that's the one that I hope we get there. Because obviously we've had 2-0 right throughout this whole weekend. I hope we get to Skyscraper, because both of those teams yesterday, when they played Skyscraper as a decider, they played the win conditions of that map perfectly.
Yep.
They put in really good performances, and I think as a really high quality Skyscraper, I hope we get to see that from them.
Same exact score, same for attack and defense, 7-3 for both, 3-4. So they were both pretty darn happy with Skyscrapers. I echo the same thing that you said, Jack. I really hope that we get it. But the question is, will we? Now, Clubhouse is obviously a big linchpin. Taking BDS to Clubhouse, always a massive mistake. I think many teams have learned it. But what can M&M actually do here to break through BDS? Because they shown us yesterday against Wolves that, yeah, M&M actually have it in them.
I think sometimes you get to a point where two teams are so good and they've got so far into a tournament that it doesn't really matter too much about the maps. It doesn't really matter too much about the style. It's just two actually good teams that work together, playing against each other. And ultimately, it comes down to who trades favorably, who's picking up entry kills, who's staying alive, who's clutching rounds. There's so many moments against teams like this. Like we had it when we played against Wolves this stage. We lost like 2 1v3s. It completely could change the map. And I think that clutch factor from players like Brede, players like Shaiko, players like EFAC, that could do it for BDS. But M&M are no slouches. Users, Solotov, they can all do it.
I think when you're at the point of going to a map where, Clubhouse for M&M was known as a very long time as one of their permabans. They've been trying to integrate a lot more. I think when you go into that kind of map, you're probably going into M&M knowing, yeah, we're not the favourites. It is their map pick. They are pretty much, apart from one loss to W7M, unbeaten over the last 2 years on the map. They love it. That maybe does give them a level of freedom to be quite expressive on the map, to just try things, warm themselves up, play together. You never know what might happen, but they might have already put it in their heads as like, right, it's fine, it's a free one, and then we go again for map 2, and map 3 will be the true test.
I mean, we know that M&M can be very creative with their operator bends. We've seen all kinds of bends coming out, like a Monty or a Ying, Flores, Amaru, Bandit, you name it. So you can bend very specifically against what BDS likes to play on a map where you have a lot of information what BDS likes to play on Clubhouse. But BDS on their side, they're also quite they're quite targeted on their attack events towards the team that they're playing against.
So M&M, there's one player from M&M that is not ready yet. So we're going to take another couple extra minutes that we can discuss about operator bans. Maybe, perhaps, on Clubhouse.
To people when they talk.
Look what I'm doing right now.
You're an idiot. Your couch is literally moving.
I'm gonna change my audio and kill the guy.
He dropped.
Oh, what?
What was that?
What?
Batman?
Bro,
Batman?
oh,
Batman?
Bro, did you see? Look.
What? What? What the fuck was that shit, man?
What the fuck did I just say?
Bro, what the fuck was this, man?